pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everyone. First order of business is Mrs. LaFleur with a new hire. Well, new but old hire.
Official new hire,
Yes,
right?
official. There we go.
So I'm pleased to recommend for your approval the employment of Mrs. Tamara Marshall for a teaching position. Her 2025-26 assignment will be English Language Arts teacher at Williamston Middle School. Mrs. Marshall earned her Bachelor's of Science in Education at Western Michigan University and a Master's of Arts in Teaching at Madonna University. She has 10 years of teaching experience at the secondary level. She previously taught middle school writing and consumer science at both middle school and high school levels at Lincoln Park Schools. Most recently, as you know, Mrs. Marshall has a long-term sub-assignment at ELA 7th and 8th grade at Williamston Middle School. She accepted this position after the school year had already started, so you can only imagine the challenges of entering into a school system that was already underway. But she jumped right into the position. She worked closely with colleagues to really make sure that the curriculum was aligned and assessments were aligned. I spent countless hours working with our staff to learn about our school-wide building systems and really did that with success. She also demonstrated a commitment to our students and families by participating in parent-teacher conferences and has consistently communicated with staff, students, and families with positive results. Beyond the classroom, Mrs. Tamara Marshall is an active member of Kinawa Parent Group and serves as one of the building's representatives on the Okemos Public School Parent Council. She's a person who is committed to the school community on various levels. Her professional skills, collaborative approach, and commitment to students make her a strong addition to Williamston Middle School. With no reservation, I do recommend that the board approve Mrs. Tamara Marshall's hire as an English Language Arts teacher at Williamston Middle School.
Any questions? Any discussion? All right, I will take a motion.
Make a motion that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education hire Tamara Marshall to be a teacher effective February 3rd, 2026.
Second. Motion by Chris, second by Deb. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Officially welcome. I know it is, but big things come. Yeah. Oh, you're so great. Broncos, all right. Thank you. Always exciting to get new hires. So we will move on to citizen comments. If there's any citizens within the audience that would like to address the board for agenda items only, now is the time. You can approach the podium. You'll have 3 minutes. Yes.
I would like to say something.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm here to talk about the voting for to fund the band for band instruments and stuff, and I just want to persuade a little bit. I want to start by saying not everyone is going to be a professional musician someday, but a lot of people do want to play larger instruments in band, and you need money to buy those instruments, because a lot of those instruments can cost $8,000 to $10,000, and that's a lot of money to spend to just play an instrument that you want to play. So what's going on right now in the middle and high school is there is not enough tubas that we have at the schools. So right now, my friend, he's lucky enough to have a tuba because we found one that works still. And at the high school, my friend Kai, he is preparing for solo ensemble right now and is currently having to carry his instrument to and from school a lot to practice. And it would be nice if we had enough tubas and percussion equipment and larger instruments for people to take these home and practice and be musicians without having to spend a lot of money or play an instrument that they don't want to play. That's about it. Also, sorry for introducing myself. My name is Finn, and I go to Williamston Middle School.
Well, thank you so much. We will be voting on that later this evening. However, we do understand if you're not able to stay, that you'll be able to catch this YouTube video later on. So, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Anybody else? Okay, there is a second citizen comments at the end of the meeting for anything that is not on the agenda, if you wish to speak at that point as well. Moving on to celebrations. Adam?
Good evening, board members, and welcome to our February meeting. I'm under the understanding that today is our 100th day of school for this school year. This is according to our Young 5 students. I did not check their math, but I'm going to assume that they were correct on that. So there's a good benchmark for us. Some celebrations this evening, a couple stories that are on the website. The first is Kids Corner Little Hornets, both programs involved, the preschool and the child care program, earned the Demonstrating Quality recognition or rating. That's the highest possible recognition for both of those programs from the state. That was accomplished after a comprehensive year-long evaluation, and so a tremendous accomplishment for Rebecca Olson, her staff, and all those involved with our Kids Corner Little Hornets programs. Second story posted to the site is that Williamston High School for the 3rd straight year was named to the Advanced Placement Honor Roll by the College Board. So we'll have another banner to hang in the boardroom, significant accomplishment obviously, and that is based on both the number or the percentage of students that enroll at the high school that take advanced placement classes and the percentage of students who do well on the advanced placement exams. A couple non-stories, or stories that are not on the website that I did want to point out. First, as I think we all know, this so far at least has been a pretty challenging winter, and I want to give a shout out, so to speak, and some appreciation to our maintenance and custodial staff. I think that's one of the aspects of our team that often goes overlooked, and those folks have been out very early in the mornings, usually starting their day in some cases at 4:30 or 4. Depending on the weather and road conditions. They work on weekends, clearing snow, sidewalks, and they have just risen to the occasion every time we've had an issue. I think the board's aware. A couple weeks ago, we had a pretty significant water main break at the middle school, and they had that taken care of in a day. Obviously, some support from some outside entities as well. We had a pipe burst at the elementary campus. Fortunately, it was on a snow day that had already been called last week, and there was no heat, and obviously some damage to a learning area, and they had that all cleaned up, repaired, and ready to go the following day. So just want to make sure to give them some recognition and appreciation. This is a very challenging time of year for them, but they're doing a great job in keeping the buildings open, the sidewalks clear, and allowing us to continue on with school. Two other quick items. First, happy birthday to Sarah. And yep, that's exactly the reaction I was expecting. And also want to congratulate our Director of Technology, James Doyen. James earned his bachelor's degree in a very short amount of time, as well as I think like 5 or 6 different certifications, including a cybersecurity certification. So now both him and Zaharan have that, which is especially important given the nature of some of the things we see online now on our network. So James has been a tremendous asset to the district, and I think this is just another accomplishment that he's earned simultaneously with all the responsibilities that he already has here in Williamston. So congratulations to him. And then, are there any questions on any of those celebrations? And I believe we have representation from Williamston Rotary Club here as well to present to the board. You're up.
Can I hand these to you? Because I don't know where everybody is. Well, greetings, everyone. I am currently the president of the Rotary Club of Williamston, Michigan, and as I'm here tonight, I'm representing the entire membership of the club. I feel right at home, though, because as I look out at you, I see 3 members of Rotary right here. Adam Spina, who is our Youth Services Chair, and then Chris Lewis, our past president, and Deb Wolf, who is co-chair of our Public Relations or Publicity Committee. So the rest of you can all join if you want. Anyway, I'm here. Our club asked for this time because January was the National School Board Member Appreciation Month. Now, I do know it is February, but you can never show enough appreciation. So we thought that we would ask for some time so that we could say thank you for all that you do for this community by serving on this board. And some of you have worn a number of hats as I looked through information provided by an informant, which would be Narda Murphy. So anyway, we wanted to recognize that month. Second, we wanted to say thank you, I want to say, all on our very own, even though there was that National Recognition Month, okay, for all that you're doing to support the youth of our community. What I gave to Adam was some envelopes, and you've all received them now, I hope. And each one of these, you can open them up. I made it so you didn't have to rip. You know, you could just open them up very easily. They're all individualized, again, with Narda's assistance. So if there's any error in anything, it's her fault. But the key thing is just a way, it's a small token of expressing our appreciation, both as members of the club and members of the community, for your service to the district. You will note, and I put the date on the cards, that even though you're getting them in February, they were all written in January, which was timely. Just wanted you to know that. In there, besides the handwritten note, is a Starbucks gift card for whatever you like to drink that you can get at Starbucks, and a flyer, which is kind of a brag sheet about all of the things that our club does in the community, many of which relate in one way or another to education or to the school. And we are always proud to work with you, again, as partners in providing quality education to our students. So, again, our thanks.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I think the board's aware of the tremendous support Rotary gives the school district. Just off the top of my head, off the past couple of years, they've supported considerable investments in our high school art lab, and also we're behind the funding of the graduation regalia for our faculty. There's many other examples, but very important and a great working relationship between the club and the district.
Thank you for that, Adam.
Well, thank you. This was a big surprise, so very much appreciated. And like Adam says, Rotary is such a big partnership with us, and so we appreciate all that you do to support our students and our staff. All right. Next
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
She ran away. So, I always end up talking about projects, and I would really like to understand the relationship better with your satellite club.
Well, the Satellite Club is now the Satellite Volunteer Services Committee. So it's not a separate club
It's not
anymore. It's folded
Okay.
into one big family. And but, you know, when someone joins Rotary, we're all Rotarians. But when we join, there are a number of committees that we can serve on. And that's another option for those who really like to be active and to do things. When I joined Rotary, it seemed like it was that we were raising money to help others do service. And I think we've been working on getting a nice balance between doing service ourselves, but also raising money to help others in the community to do services. Because sometimes there are entities or groups that are better positioned to do things than maybe we are. But yeah, so that's the story about the satellite. It's kind of not a satellite anymore, but they liked the name so much we kept it. So, and it offers also another way, another time to meet. It used to be, well, we changed our club name, but it used to be the Williamston Sunrise Rotary. And there's a whole bunch of Rotary clubs around the country that will either have sunrise, sunset, or noon, and it tells you the time of day that that club has their meetings. Well, we still have morning meetings because some people really, it was like a biological clock for them. You know, they were so used to getting up and going, you know, to a breakfast type meeting. But we now offer the breakfast meeting. We still have that, but we also have 5:30 in the afternoon, or I guess you could call that evening, early evening meetings as well. One of them is kind of social in nature because sometimes we get so busy doing business that we don't really have the time to enjoy each other's company. And that's important in a club as well. Many of our members are seeking to, they've moved into the area and they want to belong to the community and get to know people in the community. It's a good way to do that. So, yeah, we got a lot of different options, but that's a great question.
How many members we have?
We have 47 members now. Yeah, we are really working on membership because we took a look at our statistics and we were an aging group. So, I mean, Adam is one of our younger members.
No, we have a 26-year-old.
We do, yeah, we have worked on that, but, you know, we thought if we don't do a better job of recruiting here, if we're gonna, you know, literally die out. we don't wanna do that. So we have been working very hard on that. Plus, you know, there's so many things to work on. You really need to have, you know, a nice group to, you know, to have the volunteers that you need to staff the things that you're doing. So it's been really working nicely the last couple of years especially. We've been working very hard on that.
And when do you meet?
Pardon me?
When do you meet? Once a month, twice a
Oh,
month?
no. We meet, we used to meet once a week.
Okay.
And they took attendance. I mean, and if you missed a meeting, you needed to go make it up someplace in another club. That's all changed. It's not about attendance so much as it is engagement and how do you choose to engage. And so we've tried to create a number of ways that could happen. I go to practically all the meetings as president. So I go to the morning meeting, which is 2 times a month. So the first Tuesday of the month and the third Tuesday of the month, we have our morning meetings. The second Tuesday, we had committees, but our committees weren't really, it was hard to find time to meet as a committee. And so when we stopped meeting every single Tuesday, we took that second Tuesday of the month and said, for those of you who just like to rise and shine and get going, there's a day that your bio clock is already, wanting to get out and do something. Good time for committees to meet on that day. And that's worked out really well. Each committee can pick the time that they want that works for them. But to have a day that's kind of devoted to committee work has been a good idea. It's worked out nicely. Unless you're on too many committees. Then it's a little bit of competition. And the last Tuesday of the month, we have to say last because sometimes there's 4 Tuesdays and sometimes there's 5 Tuesdays in a month. But the last Tuesday of the month is when we have our social gathering. Yeah.
Tell them what tomorrow is.
Tomorrow's Murphy Awards Day. Yeah, this is when we give, and it's in honor of or named after Narda Murphy, and we give out. It's not a scholarship in the traditional sense of the word, because this is not about a GPA or anything like that, and it's basically for. We have 3 schools that participate: Williamston, Weberville, and Dansville, and it's the teachers who nominate the students, and we do this 3 times a year? Yeah, 3 times a year. Yep. So it's really exciting, I'll tell you. It's so interesting how much kids are doing these days and how involved and engaged they are, at least the individuals who've been nominated for these awards. It's just, I feel like a slug sometimes, because they are just so, and it reaffirms, I think, we will be in good hands. I like that feeling. Yeah. So, yep.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for asking questions. Oh, one of our rules is we will have fun.
Well, we're going to have fun listening to Dr. Cook next. She's going to give us
Good evening. I was
special-
just going to say that it's a hard act to follow with what I have to present tonight. But tonight I'm presenting on the Michigan scorecard, so hopefully it won't be so bad. The agenda for tonight is the review of the ESSA accountability system, support of Michigan top 10 goals, example of building scorecard, overall index values, growth index values, Williamston scorecard results, high school county rankings, middle school county rankings, and additional information and any questions you might have. So we're going to start out with the review of federal accountability system under ESSA. The accountability system that was designed by the federal government to meet the 2015 Every Student Succeeds Act, known as ESSA, was created. It created the school index system. Under the ESSA, or the Every Student Success Act, schools are evaluated using a federally required accountability system known as the school index. The system measures how well schools are meeting established targets across 7 key components. Each of these components is combined to produce one overall index score for every school within a district. Scores range from 0 to 100 and reflect a school's performance in relation to long-term state goals. And the data can be obtained on myschooldata.org. This slide connects our top 10 goals directly to the components of the Michigan School Index system, showing how our work is measured and reported. You'll see that early literacy achievement is reflected through both proficiency and growth, which look at how students perform across assessments, grades, and content areas, and how much progress they make over time. The goal of improving health, safety, and wellness is measured through the on-track attendance component, which highlights chronic absenteeism and helps identify student groups and schools that may need additional support. Expanding secondary learning opportunities aligns with advanced coursework component. This includes participation and successful completion of programs like AP, early college, CTE, IB, and dual enrollment, pathways that prepare students for college and careers. Increasing the percentage of students who graduate from high school, it's captured through the graduation rate component, which looks at 4-, 5-, and 6-year graduation data to provide a fuller picture of student persistence. Finally, the goal of increasing post-secondary credentials is measured through post-secondary enrollment, and that tracks how many students enroll in college or training programs within 12 months of graduation. So overall, this slide shows how state goals are not supposed to be abstract. They are directly tied to measurable outcomes that inform accountability and guide where we focus our school improvement efforts. The first designation of comprehensive support and improvement, CSI, which can be identified through one of 4 ways. It's in the bottom, if a school is in the bottom 5% in Michigan via an overall school index value, is a high school with a 4-year graduation rate of 67% or less, was in a CSI cohort but did not meet CSI exit criteria, or was in an additional target support, ATS cohort, but did not meet ATS exit criteria at the end of the full ATS cohort cycle. Michigan schools are identified for additional targeted support, ATS, through the following criteria. 1 or more student groups overall are performing at the bottom 5%, and 1 or more student groups consistently underperform across components. And that's the bottom 25% of each of the components applicable to the student subgroups. And lastly, for targeted support and improvement, TSI, Michigan schools can be identified for TSI through the following criteria. The school has 1 or more student subgroups consistently in the bottom 25% across all the components. The overall school index provides a 0 to 100-point scale that indicates how close a school is to meeting all measures on the school index, including ELL progress, ELL testing, participation, and overall subject test participation. The growth index measures students meeting or exceeding adequate growth expectations as outlined in the Michigan ESSA plan. This component accounts for 34% of the overall school index score. The proficiency index measures students meeting or exceeding proficiency standards on our state assessments as outlined in ESSA. This component accounts for 29% of the overall school index score. The quality and student success index measures targets in multiple components by grade configuration: on-track attendance, access to arts and physical education for kindergarten through 8th grade, access to librarians and media specialists for kindergarten through 8th grade, successful completion of advanced coursework for 11th and 12th grade students, and enrollment in post-secondary education within 12 months of graduation for high school students. This component accounts for 14% of the overall school index. The largest percentages, student proficiency and student growth indexes, are based on MSTEP, PSAT, and SAT data. The components were weighted to combine results into an overall 0 to 100-point index for each of our schools. Missing components, such as graduation rate, which would only be for high school, will have their weights redistributed proportionately among the remaining components. The growth index on the Michigan School Scorecard measures how much progress students make from one year to the next, not just whether they are proficient. It looks at individual student growth over time. Students are compared to their own prior performance, not to other students. Growth is calculated using M-STEP results across consecutive years. The growth index tells us whether students are making expected progress, more than expected progress, or less than expected progress, regardless of where they started. Each student receives a growth value based on how much their score changed from one year to the next. Those values are grouped into categories: low growth, typical growth, or high growth. The school's growth index reflects the overall pattern of growth across all students. The 24-25 Michigan School Index provides a snapshot of the performance across Explorer, middle school, and high school using the 4 required components: achievement, proficiency, growth, school quality, student success, and the overall index. Across all 3 levels, the growth index scores are strong and consistent, all in the low to mid-90s. This indicates that students are demonstrating adequate to high growth relative to their academic peers, which is a key strength within our system. The proficiency index increases from Explorer to high school, reflecting a greater percentage of students meeting grade level standards at the secondary level. This pattern suggests that instructional support, our interventions, and progress monitoring are contributing to improved achievement outcomes as students advance through grade levels. School quality and student success indicators remain high across all buildings, demonstrating strength in non-academic measures such as attendance, engagement, access to instruction, and supports, factors that contribute positively to student outcome. When the components are combined, the overall index reflects strong performance across the system, with the highest overall score at the high school level. Collectively, these results indicate a balanced performance profile, with growth and school quality serving as system-wide strengths and proficiency continue to be an area of instructional focus. Due to many different elementaries configurations in the county, I didn't rank Explorer, our 3-5 building. Williamston Middle School ranks 2nd for the entire county, following close behind Okemos in our overall index and our growth scores. As shown, Hazlitt, Mason, and Leslie were each among the top 5 in the county. Based on 24-25 data, Williamston ranks 2nd in the county with an overall index score of 94.5, placing the district among the highest performing system locally. A key strength for Williamston is student growth, with a growth index of 96.19. This indicates that students are making strong academic growth compared to their peers statewide, which is a critical component of the Michigan accountability system. While Leslie holds the top overall ranking, Williamston's overall index score is very close, and our growth index remains among the highest in the county. This suggests that instructional practices and support systems are effectively moving student learning forward. Compared to other neighboring districts, Williamston's overall index and growth index reflect a strong and balanced performance profile across required MDE components. So if you're interested, these are additional websites that provide information on each of the systems that I just spoke about. Any questions?
I have a question. I'm not sure if this would be for you or for Adam or, I don't know, anyone, I guess. One of the components I believe you talked about is that we're scored on is how many kids go off to college. Is there any, have you heard any movement in maybe looking at kids who don't necessarily go off to college but have some type of plan? Like, you know, we're pushing all of our kids to go into the trades. You know, we don't have enough electricians, enough plumbers, enough all of that, and yet we're not rewarding those kids that might take a different path. Have you heard any of that at the state level, that maybe they're going to look at giving points for kids who have a plan, like, you know, went to the career center and they're going to get a job and they have a job, or we're going to go into a trade and are doing an internship or an apprenticeship?
So I haven't heard anything from Michigan. I have heard from Indiana that they are starting to do that. They're really pushing for that, and they are going to recognize that, but I have not heard anything in Michigan. Have you, Adam, heard anything at all?
There's also a distinction between students that are pursuing advanced coursework, which I think sometimes we can infer puts them on a traditional college track, although not in every case, nor is it needed to in every case. And specifically out of the top 10 goals, it's the focus is on a post-secondary enrollment in a post-secondary credential of some sort. So I don't know that it necessarily means college. It could mean a trade or something else that results in some type of a credential. But happy to dig into that more if you want some more detail.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Any other questions?
I just wondered if there's any talk about the postgraduate being limited to only 1 year, because a lot of kids, it's kind of trendy now to take a gap year. It seems like a 2-year, and look over a 2-year span would really reflect more about which kids go on to secondary, post-secondary education, so.
Yeah, no, and they only look at a 12-month period of time and then give you credit for that. So,
Yeah, that seems very limiting.
any other
There's some issues with this. I mean, there's some things I'd like to see change. MD is a little bit pigeonholed by the ESSA requirements, as Dr. Cook talked about. There does seem to be some opportunity for some flexibility by the U.S. Department of Education right now, but Michigan would really need to push into that to take advantage of some of that potential flexibility. I don't know that I've heard that that's something that we're pursuing, but there's a new state superintendent, so I guess we'll see. But out of all the metrics that we have available, I think this does the best job of a holistic view of how the schools are performing. It's certainly not perfect. I'd like to see them focus on things that we hear are priorities, such as social emotional health, so there's no evaluation criteria for the number of school psychologists, nurses, counselors, social workers, et cetera, things that we know are important prerequisites to student success. There's no metric for that. There's no metric for safety and investment in safety, or whether you have, as you'll see upcoming here in the superintendent's report, a security dog team or SROs or things like that I think are also important prerequisites. If students feel safe in school, they're more likely to succeed academically and socially. So it's not perfect, but of the metrics that we have, which all have their strengths and weaknesses, this is probably the best one we have going right now as far as a holistic view of our schools. And I always skip to the end because I'm competitive and I want to see how we did. So I think, as the board knows, the high school's been rated #1, I don't know, as far back as I can remember. I mean, years and years and years. So can't stay #1 forever, I guess. At a certain point, the streak's going to have to end, and we just got nudged out by a little over a percentage point this year. But the school's doing exceptionally well, and I think something to be proud of. The middle school 2 years ago was 1 in the county. Last year was 2, and this year was 2. So to different schools that we lost out to. I think last year was by like 1/10 of a point or something like that. So very, overall, I think this definitely indicates success. There's always opportunities for improvement, but I think it's something to celebrate in terms of the holistic successes that all our schools are taking in support of our students.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cook. Right, Adam, superintendent's report.
All right, so upcoming presentations and meetings. So we have a Finance and Facilities Committee meeting scheduled for the 23rd of February. That's been posted. And on the 2nd of March will be the next regular meeting, and Sarah will present the 25-26 budget amendment at that meeting. Moving on to the Zebra Canine team. As you know, every semester I like to give you the roll-up. That's a significant investment that the board has allocated towards that social, emotional, and safety asset in all of our buildings. So this is a nice report that does a breakdown of the services rendered by Gemini. And the thing I especially like is, again, it's that dual purpose resource that's focusing not only on school safety, which obviously is our top priority, but then also kind of those underpinning social emotional support needs and assistance of staff. We're working with students or assisting students directly during the school day. Any questions on the K-9 team that the board might be interested in. All right, then moving on to bond updates. I know there's going to be a presentation later seeking approval on the HVAC project at the high school. But just two other things to note. First, it is exciting after I don't know how many years we've been working on the lead up to the bond, and obviously the bond, and then all the planning work that's taken place since then. We are looking to officially start the Explore project with the installation of temporary parking on the 16th or on or about the 16th of February, so just in a couple weeks. That'll be followed by putting up the construction fencing on a much larger scale than what you see out here at the softball field.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the parking thing?
Yes, so on or about the 16th of February, we're going to install temporary parking at Explore. So some of the, and I think I might have sent this out to the board before, but there's a diagram that kind of shows these, I don't know what to call them, like islands that kind of cut into the parking lot at Explore. Those are going to be removed and then temporary parking put in there, and that'll compensate for loss of spaces once the construction fencing goes up further back. I guess that's pointing east, so further east at the back of the current Explorer lot. Construction fencing will go up towards the end of the month, and then we anticipate the 2nd of March when the actual construction project will commence. We are working with Chris Mann on a groundbreaking ceremony, and we'll get back to the board on when that will be. One other quick thing, there was our project superintendent made a really good point at our planning meeting last week, so I thought I'd bring this up. Again, it's not in your packet tonight, but I think I've shared it with you previously. The original diagram that showed the construction fencing going up, the fencing was covering what I call the Safe Routes to School sidewalk that leads from Van Etter into the elementary campus. What they're proposing now is moving the fence that's on the west side of that sidewalk to the east side, and then that'll allow that sidewalk to continue to be used to move from the middle school to the elementary campus. You're still gonna have to take a bit of a detour down to Highland and then work your way around the building and then come back out on the far side. But it's better than not having access to that sidewalk at all. So really good point and a great, I think, collaborative example of the close work that and recommendations that French Associates and Christmas Company are providing us along the way. So those are the updates for the superintendent's report this evening. Are there any other questions I could address?
Okay. Nice compromise on the sidewalks. I know that not only do community members use that, but also many middle schoolers walk that path on a daily basis, especially when the weather gets nice coming over to the elementary school. So nice to hear. All right, committee reports, policy.
We met on the 26th. You'll find all the policies in your packet. A couple highlights to pay attention to are 7350, which is our curriculum adoption, which we've gone over a few times. 7375, that's going to be the acceptable use of generative AI. Both of those policies were updated to address teachers using AI as part of class material. And then for 7375, we've also updated the acceptable use policy for technology. And then next highlight for policy 8041, that's dual enrollment. This is us addressing that concurrent enrollment, the Fair State classes, will not count towards the 10 credit cap. So look out for that. We'll probably be revisiting dual enrollment and credit in the near future.
All right, any questions for Dave? These will be up. For action works.
Yeah.
All right, discussion items. Dave, you want to take that then?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Go over your packets, look at the AI ones. We'll look at all of them, that's your job.
Yeah.
But those were the biggest discussion points during our meeting.
Any questions? Yes.
Yeah. So the AI one, will we have to have a policy, or did I miss it, for how our students can use AI? Or is that part?
That's part of the handbooks
Okay.
right now.
that will be in the handbook.
Yeah, the administrative team did take a look at those, and we felt those were sufficient as is. At least for the moment, we can always adjust them, obviously, in the future as needed.
Okay, I will look at the handbook. Are we moving on? Can I?
You can ask
you-
questions.
Go ahead. So I have a clarification on our the booster clubs, PTO, and other support groups. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. So if we have a booster group, say, football, they're gonna fill this out?
That's an
Is that-
update to what we're doing currently. That's actually a much simpler version than the current form.
So booster
Yes.
groups fill these out, and then who do they give them to?
It's not going to be just booster groups. I mean, booster groups will work with the athletic directors, and then we'll have to divvy up other support
The
groups.
PTO and support.
Right.
So what would another support group be? Like what-
Other than boosters,
Yeah.
maybe like the Williamston Schools Foundation, the
Okay.
Elementary Parent-Teacher Association.
So then, as part of that, the acknowledgement and release form, so it says that the organization properly formed, it's the third paragraph, the organization is currently properly formed, blah, 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 and then it has to establish a legal entity, an EIN number, and a separate bank account. So do they have to have, so they need all three of those things in, is that what they don't, so by filling out that form, are they telling us, yes, we have all those things?
Yeah, in a
I don't
way,
know if I'm
I
asking
think
you
part of it
correctly.
is a paper trail to document the difference between internal and external support groups, whereas internal, we have the GASB reporting requirements, and there's more of a responsibility on the district to make sure we're tracking their financial statements, expenditures, things like that. With an external group, it's more just a paper trail that, we know they exist, and we know how to get in touch with them. They're supporting us, but the standards, what we're looking at are far less for an external group.
So do we do this now?
So the policy we have, I think, is way out of date and very intrusive, and probably more information than we would require. So we're looking to kind of speed ahead to a better, more aligned policy. As the board knows, many of our policies have fallen behind the times, and we're working diligently to get caught up on those.
And once these are approved, they will be made aware that they need to get this EIN number and go through the paperwork to get that.
Yeah, we're thinking this will probably be a summer, fall rollout, and we want to make it as non-intrusive as possible with our various booster and support groups, but it does kind of create, again, that paper trail that we know who they are, we know who to get in touch with, and hopefully it's just a few minutes
And
of
kind of alleviates
paperwork.
us, because an EIN number is kind of like a tax number.
Yeah, it's
So,
their federal ID.
So are we saying you need to have all three of these things or a 501c3?
You don't need to be a 501c3, but
You need the others?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm good.
Nothing about the curriculum policy.
I think I have said cha-ching, we've done that enough. I can't believe it doesn't say Nancy Dale curriculum on there, but I thought I was gonna see that when I flipped through there, but that's okay.
We joke, but these are all very important, and it's good to get our questions answered and make sure that things are where we think they should be. Any other questions or discussion? All right, these will be moved to action at our next board meeting, which Adam says is what, March
Second.
2nd. So get your questions answered. Both questions. All right, action items. Can I get a motion for approval of the minutes for the regularly held board meeting on January 12th?
Move that the Williamston Board of Education approve minutes for the regular meeting held on January 12, 2026 as presented.
Second. First by Dave, second by Heather. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We have several roll call items. The first, may I please have a motion for approval of the pool pack installation package?
Make a motion that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education approve the pool pack installation package as recommended. The total cost is not to exceed $388,065 with monies coming from the 2024 bond.
Second?
Motion by Chris, second by Deb. Any discussion?
So Andrew's here.
Andrew?
So this is just basically a reminder, this is for the pool area at the high school, and we already did purchase the equipment itself. The two big pieces of equipment, the air handler that actually goes in kind of behind the wrestling practice area in the gym, or in the pool area, and then the air handler, or the condenser that goes up on the roof. So we've already pre-purchased those, so that way they're gonna be here in time for this summer, so we can install them. So this is just basically the installation package. The roofing, how we gonna get it in through the roof, structural steel reinforcement, the mechanical contractor to install it, and the electrician to wire it up, basically.
Nice.
This includes the Bilco hatch?
It does include the Bilco hatch. So
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
learned
put a
the
hatch
new-
in there.
learned the new name.
So if we ever have to do this again, we have a hatch, so we don't
Yeah.
have to tear the
We don't
roof
have to
back
tear
off.
everything out.
Open the hatch, can bring it back out, put a new one in.
Very
Yep.
cool.
Big improvement.
Yeah.
How smart.
In 30 years,
Yeah.
board and administrators will be really grateful we made that decision.
Any questions for
Very cool.
Andrew or any other discussion? All right, Deb, I'll have you take us through roll call, please.
Chris?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Deb, yes. Heather?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
All right, thank you. Next, may I please have a motion for the middle school band instruments and equipment?
Move that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education approve the purchase of band instruments for the high school band as detailed in their request. The total cost of these purchases will not exceed $180,978.92, with monies coming from the 2024 bond.
For middle school.
Did I skip one? I'm sorry.
Yep, middle school.
I move that the
That's okay, we'll do it again.
Williamston Community Schools Board of Education approve the purchase of band instruments and equipment for the middle school band as detailed in their request. Total cost of these purchases will not exceed $168,183.43, with money coming from the 2024 bond.
Second.
Motion by Dave, second by Deb. Any discussion?
No,
Or,
Amanda.
I'm sorry, Amanda.
Amanda.
Sorry, I just heard someone over there. Any discussion? Deb, can you please take us through roll call?
Sure. Chris?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Deb, yes. Heather?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Sarah?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, now I will take a motion for the high school band
I
instrument.
make a motion that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education approve the purchase of band instruments for the high school band as detailed in their request. The total cost of these purchases will not exceed $180,978.92, with monies coming from the 2024 bond.
Second.
Motion by Amanda, second by Chris. Any discussion? I just want to say thank you to, I believe, Finn, middle school student, for stepping up and saying something.
I think he's high school.
Oh, I'm sorry, are you middle school or high school? Middle school, okay. Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to get up here and speak in front of strangers, and just wanted to send our appreciation for all that you said. All right, with that, Deb can take us through roll call.
Chris?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Deb, yes. Heather?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next is the baseball batting cage roof project. I'll take a motion.
Make a motion that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education approve the Williamston Baseball Boosters Batting Cage Roof Project. This project will be coordinated by and paid for by the Williamston Baseball Boosters.
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Deb. Any discussion? Deb, take us through roll call.
Chris?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Deb, yes. Heather?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And Sarah.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Those are all of our action items. Separate action items. Can I get a motion for board board policies to remove.
Make a motion that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education remove the following board policies: 4400 district vehicle idling policy, 4440R district vehicle idling policy, 5300 personnel records, 5300R personnel records, 5725 qualifications and duties, 7210 interscholastic athletics, 7210R interscholastic athletics, 7490 field trips and excursions, 7490R field trips and exclusions, 7491 extracurricular and interscholastic trips, and 8640 use of motorized vehicles.
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion for board policies to revise?
I move that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education revise Board Policy 7350, textbook adoption and instructional resources.
Second.
Motion by Heather, second, or motion by Deb, second by Heather. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion for board policies to add?
Move that the Williamston Community Schools Board of Education add the following board policies: 4400 bus inspections, 5300 personnel files and payroll information, 7210 extracurricular activities, 7490 field trips, and 7491 extracurricular and athletic trips.
Second.
I have a motion by Dave, second by Heather. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is, I have a motion to go into closed session.
Make a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Heather. Any
Oh,
discussion?
should I say to discuss negotiations? Sorry.
Do you still second that, Heather?
Yes.
Any discussion? All right, Deb, can you please take us through roll call?
Chris?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Deb? Yes. Heather?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, we will come back after, but you don't need to stay if you don't want to. You're free to go, but we will come back and we will finish out our board meeting after we are done. discussion?
Motion to come out of closed session.
Second?
By Chris, is that Deb? Second by Deb. Any discussion? All right, Deb, please take us through roll call.
Chris?
Yes?
Amanda?
Yes.
Deb, yes. Heather?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
All right, thank you all. We did receive some correspondence from a retirement, so such a loss for our district, but wish her all the best. Also, we did receive a reminder about for May 5th on the ballot, so we'll look over that. And also a special thank you again to Rotary, but also to Explore Elementary for this really thoughtful gift. We were told that these are fingerprints of all the students on the mug, so that was really very much appreciated. This is,
Can I do a quick alibi?
yes.
On the, thank you. I just wanted to make sure to acknowledge Michelle Ellis's retirement. I had a chance to teach alongside her a long time ago at the middle school. Actually, we taught across the collapsible wall. I was teaching social studies, and she taught ELA. But she's actually held a variety of different roles throughout the district in many different capacities. And one of the things I really liked about her letter, and I wish more of our educators would do this because they're so humble, and so is Michelle, but I mean, just the amount of accomplishments, right? And just kind of reminding people like, hey, I'm in here and look at some of the things I've done that are really substantial. And so Michelle did a really nice job at outlining that, and I think it speaks to, or it's a great summary of all the different ways she's made important connections and influenced our students over a very long and distinguished career. As you might recall, at one point last year we had 3 Ellises teaching in the district. Now we're down to 1. But look forward to continuing to see Michelle around, and I know she'll still be a Hornet, and you know, she can't get away from Johnny, so she'll still be part of the team, just in a different capacity. So congratulations to Michelle.
Well said. All right. Are there any citizens that would like to address the board? See none. Move on to board member reports or requests. Seeing none, I will take a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Deb. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.